Hi there, welcome to Grocery Dad. Now, if you're serious about saving money, shopping smarter, and cutting your food bill, you'll want to stick around for the next few minutes. Today, I'm calling out 5 of the most outrageously overpriced convenience groceries you can find on supermarket shelves so that you can avoid them and not get sucked into bad food choices. And stick around to the end, because I've also got a delicious 50-cent protein ball recipe I want to share with you that's saving me a fortune. I discovered it last week and my family are absolutely loving it. Stick around for that. Now, before we dive in, this isn't about shaming anyone, okay? If you've got any of these products in your cupboards, I'm not judging you. Ultra-processed foods account for 70% of all the products in the average grocery store. They are literally everywhere and they're easy to fall for. But the fact is, the more processed foods are, the more you'll pay in terms of dollars and in terms of your long-term health. So, do your body and your wallet a favour by cutting out as many as possible. And we'll kick off with one that I've talked about before. It's the added protein craze. Specifically, in this case, I'm talking about ready meals. The majority of us don't need extra protein in our diet. It's as simple as that. A good, balanced diet coupled with moderate levels of exercise is perfectly sufficient for most of us. So, when I see a 320 gram ready meal, that is a smallish meal for one, priced at $11.95, I go, someone must be pulling my leg. That's over $7.60 US. And that's a unit price of $3.73 per 100 grams. Now, it's got anti-caking agents in it, it's got emulsifiers in it too, one of which they quaintly just refer to as Thickener 400, which sounds innocuous, doesn't it? If I was making chicken and mushroom pasta at home, I doubt I'd be putting any of that stuff in it. But it's the price rather than the ingredients that I find really hard to swallow here. Make a batch of this at home yourself on a Sunday evening, and you're looking at maybe $2, $2.50 per portion, depending on how much chicken you put in it. So please, don't be fooled by this kind of flash branding. At the end of the day, a microwave meal is a microwave meal, and you can do better than that no matter how busy you are. And if you don't believe me, take a leaf out of Cassie Oz 1702's book, because she commented recently saying, we need to go back to teaching kids to cook. It's a vital life skill and it gives you the confidence to reject convenience and takeaway offerings. So, go get yourself some cooking skills and you won't be blowing $12 on a plastic tray of food ever again. Sticking with the protein theme, because it seems to be everywhere these days, we have the balls, the bars, the mixes, all of which are breathtakingly expensive. You're looking at anything upwards of $4 per 100 grams, and that one on the top shelf up there was $6.38 per 100 grams. That's almost $3 per ball. It's the most astonishing ripoff there is right now. And I know there'll be plenty of people, probably veering towards younger age groups, that buy into this protein hype. They buy into the gym culture, and there's nothing wrong with that per se, but they're also quite prepared then to pay this convenience tax. So, try this instead. Try making a batch of protein balls at the weekend using the recipe that I'm going to give you in just a moment, and you'll be saving yourself the better part of $900 per year. That's what you could be spending on one of these brands if you're eating just one of their products every day. All right, so moving on. This one seems really harmless. So much so, in fact, that I was looking for these things and I almost walked past thinking, that's handy. This example is basically just some wraps with a bit of garlic sauce and some sort of seasoning. Probably stuff like oregano, paprika, cumin, garlic powder. Pretty run-of-the-mill stuff, right? Not forgetting, it all comes in that rather unnecessary box. And I love, in particular, how they call them souvlaki style wraps. So that's just wraps then, right? $7.99 this thing costs. You can get a pack of 8 wraps for like less than $3, right? And you pair them with some commonly available herbs and spices that you could and should have in your cupboard already, and you could expect to be paying less than half of what this kit is coming in at just by doing it yourself. These kits, folks, are the very definition of a convenience trap. Now, no sooner had I spotted the souvlaki kit than I came across another wonderful example of flavour taxation. It's those little packets of herbs and spices that you rub on stuff to give it some flavour. In this case, that would be chicken, and what you'd be rubbing on it is basically paprika, onion, salt, sugar, and parsley. And that's it. For $2, which even at 20% off is still $1 for 10 grams of the stuff. And you can see what they've done there, right? To make the unit price look kind of more palatable. But let's just call it for what it is, shall we? That's $10 per 100 grams. Outrageous stuff. Now again, you probably already have 90% of what's in it on your spice rack, and if you don't, you should. Buy the generic jars, mix your own rubs, and you'll slash your costs and always be in control of ingredients. And as a quick side note on that point, the Nando's product that you see there in the video just to the right was even more expensive, and it contains an anti-caking agent called silicon dioxide, or E551. Now, E551 is pretty common, but it's been under review recently by the European Food Safety Authority. Why? Well, because E551 contains things like lead and mercury and aluminium and arsenic. So, bear that in mind next time you pick up what looks like a harmless, if expensive, little packet of herbs, because there's a decent chance you're getting more than you bargained for with your smoked paprika and your dried onion. Now, all the products I've shared so far are mere pretenders compared with this week's winner. Hands down, the award for worst value convenience sham goes to this. It is a 108 gram tin of tuna, complete with 5 crackers and a hefty piece of plastic packaging, which, as one reader commented on my community tab recently, could come in handy if you're still hungry after eating the food, because it's the only thing provided in generous portion. It's true, it's a child-sized portion, but the price sure as hell isn't. When I first spotted this product, I wasn't so much angry as bewildered. Who would possibly buy such a thing? And very shortly, my bewilderment kind of gave way to a sort of delirious laughter. I just could not believe that such a product would find its way onto a grocery store's shelves. It's incredible on so many levels. The size, the packaging, and obviously the price, which is more astronomical than a Katy Perry PR stunt. $32.41 per kilo this thing costs. Whereas a big tin of tuna and a packet of biscuits will generally set you back less than a third of that. So the question is, why would anyone even consider paying such an obscene amount for such a tiny portion of tuna and a handful of crackers? Well, I can only suggest it's because we've become so conditioned to pay for convenience. In all walks of life, we're quite happy to shell out our hard-earned cash to save ourselves what might very well be just a few minutes of our time. But if that sounds familiar, then in this case at least, you have been warned, right? Convenience traps like this are lurking on a grocery shelf near you right now. So stay alert and don't let them con you into thinking this is some sort of smart time-saving idea. Now, to close, I promised you the 50-cent protein ball recipe that I discovered just last week, and it is very smart and it is very savvy. I got to thinking, I've got this example of these overpriced protein balls that's going into this video, so can I actually make my own version at home? And the answer was categorically yes. And it's very easy too. So I went on to ChatGPT, the free version, of course, and I put a question in, and back came a recipe that I have since put to the test at least 3 times. And the only problem I found really with it is that I haven't made enough of it to have any left 24 hours later. But that's very much on me. So all you're going to need is some prunes. Packaged ones work fine. Some oats, some honey, some nuts, some chia seeds, vanilla extract, and a pinch of salt. You could add some protein powder if you want to pump it up, and some sort of nut butter works well too. But that is it. Mix it all together in a big bowl by hand, shape it into balls, stick it in the fridge, and you're done. Super quick, super easy, super cheap. It's so easy you barely need a recipe, but I'll stick it in the description all the same. Folks, if you found any other utterly crazy convenience traps in your local store, please go ahead and call them out in the comments, and stay alert because this stuff is lurking down literally every aisle. Now, if you want to know the 14 groceries that I always keep on hand so I don't end up buying any of this ultra processed fake food, then just click the link in the description to get the free Grocery Dad PDF of Pantry Essentials. And if you're interested in a whole bunch of other things that can help you save money and cut your food bills, then head on over to this video next.